Hi everyone, my name is Shayla and I am an adult services librarian at the main branch of CCPL, and today I'm going to talk about books for May. In particular, May is Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month, and I have 4 books by Asian authors that I hope you would be interested in reading. The first book that I'm going to introduce is Jade City by Fonda Lee. This is book 1 of 3 in what is the Green Bone Saga. And this book starts off in the fictional island of Kit Kong, where Jade is the life force of the island and the Green Bone Warriors are the ones that protect the Jade. And they have been protecting Jade for centuries. And in particular, in present day Kit Kong, 2 clans rather, have been battling each other to get control of the Jade and the island itself. Two families, the No Peak and the Mountain clans, really are just immortal enemies for centuries. And the book mostly focuses on the No Peak clan and the family dynamics. It does mention, the Mountain clan, in there as well, obviously, but the No Peak clan is the main focus of the book. But it comes to that the clans have a big problem on their hands when other people start using Jade that are not Greenbone warriors, because a new drug has been introduced to the point where, combined with Jade, then anybody can wear the Jade, and that's a huge problem for both clans. So they try to figure out a way to stop that, and it goes over into the next book in the series, Jade War, which emphasizes that battle more when outside forces kind of want in on Jade. And then finally, later this year, Jade Legacy will come out and wrap up this series. This series is deemed a combination of The Godfather and with martial arts. So if you like both of those things, or at least one of those things, you should definitely pick up this book. Okay, the next book that I have is How Much of These Hills is Gold by C. Pam Zhang. And this book takes place in the twilight of the gold rush in the American West. The 2 main characters here are a pair of siblings, Lucy and Sam. They have just become orphans when their father, Ba, has suddenly passed away, whereas their mother has passed away a long time ago. Their father dies unexpectedly, and these siblings, they're now orphans, and now they have to find a proper resting place for their father. And along the way, the siblings have to deal with many trials and tribulations in the early parts of the American West, everything from buffaloes to tires, and ultimately some very real racism because they are Asian immigrants. And this book basically talks about their experience going through all of these things, as well as family secrets and other trials and tribulations, and how they have to eventually let go of the past. And I thought this was a great book that detailed, the American West from an Asian perspective, which, even though it's a fictionalized telling of it, I don't think a lot of people know about that type of experience. So this is another great book to pick up. The third book is Pachinko by Minjing Lee. And this book is more of a multi-generational book, and it takes place, it spans over the course of many, many years, spans from early Korea in the 1900s up until around the late 1980s, and parts of Japan and America even. The book starts off in Korea in the 1900s with one of the main characters, Sunja, who is the daughter of a well-respected fisherman in a small village. And just so happens Sunja falls in love with this man, and she becomes pregnant by him. And unfortunately for her, this particular man, her boyfriend, is she finds out he is already married with children, so she can't really go with him. And he offers to take care of her and for the rest of her life and take care of the child, but she doesn't want to do that. So she's kind of almost shamed by many people in her village. However, she does accept the marriage proposal of a sickly minister that comes through her village one day, and with that, they get married, and they both go to Japan, where they stay with his brother and the sister-in-law. Thus, it begins kind of a love-hate relationship between this family and the country of Japan itself, because they are basically foreigners in a foreign land. And if you know the history of Japan and Korea, they're not really on great terms as far as relations. And talks about wars and how that affected both sides, and how that affected this family. And because Sandra goes to Japan, this changes pretty much the course of her family and for the many generations to come. And I thought that was very, very prevalent in this book. And I did end up really just enjoying this book, and and also being kind of sad about it because of the many events that happened to this family over the course of time. But it is still, because it's multi-generational, it's a wonderful read. And finally, the last book is The Namesake by Jupa Erie. And this particular book is about one family and how they deal with trying their best to be in the American experience, even though they're pining for home. This book focuses on the Bengali family, and they are new arrivals from Calcutta. And the mother and father in particular, Ashma and Ashok, try to pretty much adjust to American life as best they can. Asok has come to America to work as an engineer, and he ends up being able to adjust to American life very well, whereas his wife, on the other hand, does not adjust as well, and she just wants to go home. She misses her family. They also have two children um, who really they grow up in America, so they don't really have a connection to their roots, their Indian roots, particularly their son Gogol. He is 100% Americanized. He really wants nothing to do with his Indian roots, and he makes that pretty prevalent, pretty clear throughout throughout most of the book. He just wants to get away from that and just be totally 100% American. But there are other events in this book that kind of pulls him back in to realize that he kind of needs to balance, um, being American as well as not forgetting those roots. Um, this is book could be this book is in talking about the balance between being American and remembering your roots is kind of like a assimilation, which is a problem that's probably faced by many first generation American children of immigrants. It's whether they want to just be 100% Americanized or just try to learn more about who they are and where they initially come from. And I thought that was very interesting theme in this entire book. So, and and I really did enjoy reading this book as well. And those were the 4 books that I read over the course of a few months for this book talk. You can find these books, the physical copies of these books, of course, in any of our 17 branches in CCPL. As well, you can also find either the ebook versions of them and audiobook versions of them on our Libby for Overdrive app and also our Hoopla app. So I hope you do give these books a read. I thought they were really great books, and I hope you give them a read. And we hope to see you soon at the library to check these out. Thank you for joining me for this book talk, and have a good day. Bye.